I'm recording on here. Let me record on Adobe just in case.
We did get 10 views on our YouTube on
Oh,
our
really?
last one. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
on one of them. Actually, the
Okay.
one of them with Jake. I don't know which one, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
hell,
better than zero, right?
that's more than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah. I also well, I kind of want to text Jake too and ask him who he would recommend we cold reach out to have on someone that we do or don't know,
Yeah,
but
for
just I
sure.
don't know, just
Yeah.
branch
No,
out a
he's
little
got. I
more.
mean, he's got connections. I'm sure he'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, let me know when you
Cool.
or like count me down, and I'll start up or something.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Come one, come all. Welcome back to Chiowa. We are in episode 72, and as always, I am Michael Olson alongside my good buddy Michael Stampa. Welcome back from Arizona, man. How we doing?
Thanks. It's nice to be welcome back. Doing fine. Just got done shoveling my driveway and a neighbor's driveway and sidewalk and a friend's driveway. Um, Sucks,
Was just gonna
but
say
it's
it's a
fine.
rude awakening to come back from like running in shorts and hanging
Oh my
out outside
god.
in the hot Arizona dry heat, and then coming back to a basically a
Preach.
blizzard. So
Yeah,
welcome
it
back
was
to the Midwest, man. It's cold as shit here.
thanks. It is good to be back home. So Hillary and I were in Arizona for about 2 weeks, just under. We were with some friends from college. We visited safely. We kind of quarantined, and everyone that was going down got COVID tests before they went. And then when we were actually in Arizona at the house, we just kind of stayed at the house unless we were getting groceries or like going for a hike.
Nice.
So before anyone jumps down our throat, we're as safe as we could be, but needed to get out of the house, needed something to look forward to after being basically trapped inside for 10 months or so.
I think that that's fair. You need a little
Yeah,
sanity check every once in a while, and you guys drove
yeah,
too. Well,
yeah.
nice,
We
nice,
drove.
nice, nice road trip down to Arizona, which you can't beat.
Yeah, it's a long road trip,
Yeah,
but Arizona was great. It was beautiful. Have you been before?
I never have. I've only like flown
Oh,
through, so I want to hear like where'd you guys go? What'd
sure.
you guys do? Obviously, you said I know you did a little bit of running, but
Yeah,
like where did you stay in Arizona? Were you in the same spot the entire 2 weeks? What'd you guys do?
sure. So we stayed in Tempe. So Tempe is where Arizona State University is,
Yep.
and it's in the Phoenix metro area. So in the little Phoenix Valley, I guess you
Okay.
could call it. We stayed about 2.5 miles, 3 miles south of the university on Mill. Mill is, and not on Mill, but just off of Mill. Mill is like a major road that runs through
Okay.
town. And yeah, when we were there, we mostly just stayed at the house. It was 40, 45 degrees early in the mornings and later at night. Got up to mid 70s during the day, so it was beautiful.
That's
It
perfect.
only rained. Yeah, it was wonderful, and it's a drier heat,
What,
which is something unique, something
explain
different.
that to me, because I always hear that. I don't know what that means. I mean, it's like it's still hot, right? I mean, it's like
It's still hot,
obviously
but
it's not
think of it
humid.
as when I went on my runs or when we went on hikes or especially when I went on my runs and was like running harder,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was sweating. I was
Okay.
sweating, but my shirt wasn't getting soaked.
Right.
I also felt like when I was running, and even if I was running in 60-degree heat, I was getting parched a lot more quickly. My mouth was
Okay.
drying
That
out.
makes sense.
Yeah, so you kind of walk out and it's just more like it's not necessarily more or less intense. And I can't say whether it's more or less bearable because you can still feel the heat. And obviously, it wasn't 110 degrees. It wasn't
Right. Right.
unbearable
Right
by
in
any
Death
means.
Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it was. It's dry, and I feel like you have to once you're there and can kind of experience it, it'll make a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
You
because I
know.
feel like it's like a classic thing to say, being like, "Oh, it's 110 out," but it's a dry heat, so it's not that bad. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
fuck, it's still 110
it's
degrees, so
still
it's still
hot,
hot.
and
But
we
yeah,
we
I've never been to Arizona. I've spent no time really in desert, so I was kind of confused as kind of what that really means. And you always hear it, you can conceptualize it, but it's like difficult to actually understand
yeah
unless you've actually ran around in it and you can
yeah
explain it. So it's
like me,
yeah,
I'm someone who sweats quite a bit,
yeah.
especially when I'm running. And even when I ran down in Arizona, I like didn't sweat through my shirts. I sweat some. I mean, it was fine,
Do you
but
use
it
the
was
body glide?
of course
Of
always I
course,
have
of
to
course.
can't go on a run without it.
You can't,
Um,
can't.
it's pretty much essential. But no, I mean I didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a much more. I don't want to say comfortable run, but it was less intense than like running here.
Yeah,
Where if it's 70 degrees here in springtime, I'm gonna sweat through everything
yeah,
because it's most likely a higher humidity than
sure.
5 or 8 or 10% that it was there. I could
Cool.
be off on those numbers, but
Nice.
no, it was great. We had we had a small little backyard. We had a pool, so took a dip in the
Ooh,
pool.
nice.
A handful of days, which was nice. Especially after going for a run, just kind of jump in, pop around, jump out. Um, and then yeah, we went on a couple different hikes throughout the Phoenix area. We also took a day and we went up to the Grand Canyon.
I saw that. It looked beautiful.
It was fantastic. That's the second time that Hill and I have been there, and we parked at one designating parking spot, and then we hiked slash more walked, but hiked about 2 miles on the rim trail, which is, if you've been in the Grand Canyon, that's not rocky at all. It was paved,
Okay.
but it's nice because then you get to see different views of the Grand Canyon, from along that 2 mile trail. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not that much different, but they're a little bit different. And then we hiked about a mile and a half into the canyon on the Bright Angel Trail to the mile and a half, like, I don't know, shelter, whatever. Stopped, had some water, had some of our snacks, and then turned around and hiked out. Um, all in all, it was about 9-ish miles that we hiked. I know
Oh,
those
nice.
numbers aren't exact, but about 9-ish miles once all said was done. Once all was said and done, took about 3.5 hours. Just because we took our time. It was a beautiful day. Probably 50-ish degrees and sunny. So there was snow on the ground. It was one of the only days that week that I guess it wasn't snowing or raining. So our timing just worked out that was the best day that
Oh,
worked for us
perfect.
to go. It was beautiful. It's
Cool.
fantastic. Yeah,
Do you have any thoughts being like, I would love to do like a rim to rim run one day here?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Both times that I've been down there. Hi, Hell.
The first time you guys were there, you guys got engaged, right?
We
Yeah.
did get engaged
Yeah.
On a different trail that we were on this past time, but yeah. So yeah, brought back
Nice.
some good memories. But absolutely would love to do a rim to rim someday,
Yeah.
or a rim to rim to rim. That would be a little kind of intense, most likely, but
Of course.
it'd be doable.
Be dope.
Probably have to do early spring, just because like it would have been a good day to do it. I think when we were there, other than the fact that there was some snow and ice on the trail, but you
Sure.
can hike it obviously. But I think it was a lot better kind of down at the base. We from the rim we could there were a few spots where we could see the river, where we could see the some of the bridges. It didn't look like there was much snow down there. I mean, it's a mile into the canyon, so it has
Yeah.
to be pretty cold for it to fall, or to fall all the way down and stick. But
Cool. Yeah, I've never
absolutely would
been.
do it.
It's obviously on my bucket list, but I'd never
Beautiful.
heard anyone say they regretted going to the Grand Canyon. I just have never had a chance to go. So
Yep.
I shouldn't say I haven't had a
Take a
chance to
chance.
go. I mean, hell, I can now would
You
be a
could
great
go.
time
You
to
could
go.
go whenever.
Right,
But
exactly.
It's
But
not like you've ever been in
yeah,
Arizona
correct.
or in that area with nothing. to
Correct,
do
but I
and go
definitely
anywhere.
want to go. I mean, it's right. Feel like everything about it be right up my alley. So,
Yeah.
so when you're out there, were you doing I know you went hiking and stuff at the Grand Canyon,
Mhm.
and you were hiking around where you guys were staying around Phoenix. Did you do any like trail runs or anything? I know we were talking about. You sent us a couple of Snapchats in our little group thing that you had some like
Yeah.
nice runs. It looked beautiful. So you did some trail running. It looked like.
I did. I went on like one decent trail run, and it was in the Southern Mountain Preserve.
Okay.
And again, I only did one. The first week we were there, I was working, so I didn't really have time necessarily during the middle of the day to drive 15 20 minutes, explore somewhere where I'd be willing to get
Right.
lost, but more or less lost, and come back. So I got one good trail run in. It was probably 5 or 6 miles, and just kind of explored an area, and was kind of seeking out an area for us to go on like a sunrise hike.
Okay.
Trying to find a good place where we could get a peak that looked out to the east, hopefully over the mountains that were east of Phoenix, or at least over like Tempe, or something. And that's what we ended up finding and doing, which was really nice. But I really only got one trail run in. Primarily, like I said, that first week I was just running kind of in town, which was kind of brutal, to be honest.
Sure.
Got
Any
one in
road
over the
running?
weekend. Yeah, one over the weekend. And then that next week, I kind of had some like back issues, not a
Oh,
lot of back
shit.
issues, but just a little tight. I don't know if it was from sleeping in a different bed, not being
Right.
used to it, from the long drive and then the bed, from inactivity. I don't know. So I just kind of cooled it off, and I went on like a couple of shorter runs, but for the most part, didn't do much. And interestingly enough, when we were hiking in the Grand Canyon for those 3.5 hours, is when it was. Um, so I don't know. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you were in Phoenix. I have to ask. I mean, did you know? I mean, we talked about it briefly beforehand, but did you know like the whole Hoka Project Carbon X2 event was going on when they were like trying to set the world records and all that jazz, like with Walmsley trying to go for the 100K world record? Did you know that was going on? Like when you went
I knew it
down there,
was
did you
going.
know it was going to be happening? Because it was like literally in Phoenix.
Yeah, I knew it was going on. I did not put two and two together that it was going to be in Phoenix when I was down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of paid. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I paid a little bit of attention. But even then, not really.
Yeah.
We were kind of doing our own thing. I wasn't trying to, be super focused on
Oh, for
that.
sure.
But I
And
was following along enough with on social media and stuff.
I'm assuming I don't know really if they did have like spectators, but I'd imagine like it's probably pretty limited in terms of like who could be there and who could be watching
Right.
and whatnot. So it's probably fairly limited on who could actually spectate. I don't know. Obviously, it's a huge course. I mean, it's
Right.
62 miles long. But yeah, for those who don't know, I guess and weren't familiar with it, it was basically an attempt to set the world record and a bunch of attempts to have personal best. But the big piece of content that came out of it was Jim Walmsley going for the 100 kilometer world record, which was just under 6 hours nine and 10 minutes. So 6 hours 6 hours 9 minutes and what it was like
14 seconds, I
14
think,
seconds. Yeah,
was the
and
record.
he ended up running 6:09:26. So he literally missed it by 12 seconds, which I can't imagine running for that hard,
Oh my God.
for that long, that hard. He's running at a 5:57 per mile clip for 6+ hours and to come up 12
Insane.
seconds. I mean, you got to
I
feel
think
absolutely terrible for the guy.
Oh, absolutely. It's even if you shave off a second per mile, he beats it by almost a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he
It's and
smokes
his
it.
second is so minimal too. You gotta feel for Walmsley there. That's fucking brutal. And
It's
getting a
brutal.
557 mile for 62 miles.
Yeah, I know we were talking
Oh,
beforehand. I know we did like in Des Moines. They do like for the Drake relays. They do like the Grand Blue Mile, which is
mm-hmm,
literally just a mile run. And I think that is
mm-hmm.
actually like it's one of the American like
I think it often is
championships.
like an outdoor 1 mile championship.
Yeah.
USA
Anyways,
track and field championship. Yeah.
and we did that together one year, and we ran as hard as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Pretty much
remember
just threw up afterwards.
exactly what it was, but it was like not significantly faster than his pace for 62 miles, 62
Yeah.
plus miles.
I
So it
think
was
I
like I
I
can't
think
imagine
I think we each ran between like 5:32 and 5:38 or something.
something like that.
We were both like sub 5:45, I think,
Yeah.
and both we were pretty close to each other, both wheezing,
Yeah,
wanting to throw
yeah.
up
Like
afterwards.
I remember coming out of the gate and being like, I'm only 0.2 in, and I'm like, I'm about to die. So he
Yep.
did that for 61 additional miles, 61 plus additional miles. So absolutely
He
incredible.
ran that hard. He ran that hard for another 5 hours and 50
Yeah,
6
6
hours and
hours.
5
Yeah,
minutes.
it's insane.
God.
And I think
Yeah.
he still set the American record, obviously only being 12 seconds off the world record. But damn, I mean, he has to be absolutely gutted. As much as like a headwind for a couple, for a mile or something like that can be the difference in 12 seconds. So you got to feel for him. But what an fucking impressive performance to run 5:57 for 6+ hours and then miss a world record by 12 seconds. I mean, you got to be gutted for the dude. But
Just
fuck, impressive,
absolutely
impressive.
bonkers.
Out of this world performance, impressive as all get out.
Uh-huh.
But anyways,
Nuts.
that could have been
It's
you, Michael.
crazy.
You could have been running right alongside Jim. Maybe you could have been his pacer those last 30 miles, and you could have led him to
Yeah,
victory.
okay.
Could have
I honestly I couldn't have paced him for more than a mile at the
yeah.
end. Well,
You never
literally,
know.
that's how fast he was running.
You could have pulled a Frank the Tank from Old School and like kind of blacked out when he was doing the speech. You could have blacked
I,
out for 6 hours, and just
oh
let him to
man,
victory.
wouldn't that be electric if you could get toe the starting line? Actually, I wouldn't like this because then you wouldn't have that memory. Toe the starting line,
Yeah,
black out, and then you wake up and you're done with your race.
yeah, it would be incredible. I
I would
recently
love it.
watched Old School again, and
It
goddamn, is
holds
that
up.
movie funny?
It holds
Holy
up.
cow!
It's so good. I remember the first
I got
time
a fresh beer.
oh, the first time I ever watched that movie. I think I was with Dean and Craig,
Yeah.
and I don't remember laughing harder than the initiation scene
Oh my
when they
god.
have the bricks tied to their whats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
The
think
cinder
we must
blocks.
have yeah, the cinder blocks. We must have rewound it 8 or 10 times and rewatched the
It's
scene. Oh, it's so good.
it is so
Such
good.
a quotable movie too.
It is.
Those early mid 2000s movies, that Wedding Crashers, Superbad was just after. I think we might have
Yep.
talked about this before.
Yep.
So good.
Sweet spot. And
So
I don't
good.
know if it's just because we're like in that age group, or it was like we were like in our like you know those years where we were like super like impact like, could be impacted by like a movie like that super easily. But I
Mhm.
still feel like those are like considered like classics. Are we just like
I agree.
stupid
I
because like they were like we were super like impressionable at that time, or are they just like great movies? I think they're
Maybe.
absolutely hilarious.
I think they're great movies. I think
Yeah.
it was a good age for those type of like slapstick adult humor type
Yeah, for
movies.
sure.
And we just happened to, I think we might have been a little, I think I at least was a little young for like Wedding Crashers and Old School right when it was released.
For sure.
We were 10, 12, whatever years old. I mean, I could be off on that, but it was a good time period. And I'm blanking on a bunch of other ones now, obviously, but good time period for those
Oh,
types of movies. You know, the Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell type movies, Luke and Owen Wilson, both
so
fantastic.
good.
And then I still like to think of, you know, Superbad came out for us when we were like sophomores in high school,
Mhm.
maybe the summer before, maybe the summer after. And I honestly think that's one of the best movies of our like, you know, coming of age. It's hilarious.
Oh,
Everything
so
about it is
good.
fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, that whole time period. I mean, even like you mentioned like Owen Wilson. Anything of like Jackie Chan with like the Shanghai Nights and Shanghai
Mm-hmm.
Noons and like the Rush Hours. Like, those are all
Oh,
great around that same time period. Oh man, just so many good movies around that area, around
yeah,
that era. But yeah, I think Superbad's probably like the one where we were like we're just old enough where we could like kind of get the jokes. I mean, like yeah, this is kind of like this, you could relate to this directly, and not like 5 years removed, like going back and watching them. But damn, they are so funny. Fuck.
yeah.
Good ass movies. So
I
if
might
you
have
had to
to
pick
rewatch
one out of
Superbad.
those, one of that out of that like kind of category and genre, let's say not old school because I think that's what I'd pick, and we're talking about it, so that'd be easy to say that. Like, what
Okay.
would you pick? Would it be super bad?
I probably would pick Superbad. And
Yeah.
I would put Superbad up there with Old School, and I might even pick Superbad over Old School. Um, but oh god, they're so good. I would probably pick Superbad. What would you take? You can take Old School. That's
No,
fine.
I'll go back a little further back. I guess it's not it's later than that. It's actually a Chris Farley
Is
one,
it
but it's along the same like stupid lines. Do you remember?
Beverly
And I
Hills Ninja?
yes, exactly.
Such
Yes,
a good
Beverly
fucking
Hills
movie.
Ninja. Such a
Oh
stupid
man,
movie, but fuck, is it hilarious? Like,
it
there's
is.
so
I don't
many.
think I've probably haven't seen it in 20 years,
It's the
15 years.
stupidest. It's the
Oh,
stupidest plot. It's like this white guy just got dropped off like in this like in a dojo at like a young age. It's Chris Farley. He grows up to like being the fat like white guy and like the in Japan like training to be like a ninja. And obviously he's like clumsy as fuck. Doesn't know what he's doing. But somehow
it's like Elf but for ninjas.
yeah. But somehow, like, he impresses like this girl, like accidentally, like doing all these like cool, like ninja star throws, like not actually meaning to do them, and she's like, "Whoa, like this guy's unbelievable. He's the great white ninja." And then there's like this whole story about this great white knight coming and like blessing like the town with this unbelievable ninja skills. Ends up being Chris Farley. Chris Farley. It's an absolutely hilarious movie. So I'd say
It's
that one
fantastic.
um is
I'm
one is up there for me. So what is that? Who else is in it? Is that Chris Tucker in that movie?
I think Chris Farley and Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Again, I you know it better than
Oh,
I
it's
do.
so good.
I remember because we used to watch it at your house
Oh, really?
when like your mom would be yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
It's
remember it.
oh my, I'm looking it up now. Beverly Hills Ninja. Who's all in that movie? It's so good. Holy shit. That was all in 90. I'm getting old, dude. Fuck.
97. We were 5.
97. Oh man, that's way
Yeah.
earlier than I thought it was. Yeah, it's Chris who else is in that? Yeah, it's Chris Rock. Okay.
Okay.
Well, no, I said Chris Tucker. It's Chris Rock. Duh.
Okay.
Um
Chris
he's
Tucker was in
he's in Rush Hour.
yeah,
Um
he's a Rush Hour.
yeah. Anyways, great movie. Um great road trip movie too. Like when you're a kid, you had like you had
The little TV in your
little
car.
TV in your car. Great
Yep.
road trip movie. Oh, I remember the first time I ever saw like uh Happy Gilmore's on a road trip coming back from like a soccer tournament. Literally, I think that's up there. And I was probably like 8, 10. Still one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. And I was 10 years old. I still remember being like literally I think I was gonna piss my pants. I was laughing so hard. Like when he whacks the ball down the street and hits the guy in the head and he falls off the balcony of his house. Holy
It's
shit, one of the
stupid stuff
funniest
like
things.
that that
Yeah.
it's just you just die laughing.
Which
That's like when I forgot his name in Old School when he falls off the building when he because
yeah.
his stick is tied to a cinder block.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
hilarious.
Maybe it just speaks to like how dumb like men are, or maybe at least you and I are. Like that
Yeah,
stuff is
yeah,
just absolutely hilarious. Like I
yeah.
could you could show me like a blooper reel of like just dude just getting hit in like the balls, and I like still laugh my ass off every single time. It's like
Yep,
stupid stuff like that is always hilarious to me. But
yep.
speaking of that, great road trip movies, like great road trip snacks. You just came off a nice road trip all the way down to Arizona, long drive. How long a drive is that? How long did you guys get there? A couple days?
It is about 22 hours.
Fuck, that's a long
And
time.
yeah, we actually took 2 different ways too.
Okay.
On the way there, we went south through Kansas City and Kansas and Oklahoma, Texas into New Mexico and stayed in Albuquerque.
Okay.
That's about 15 hours. And then it's about 6.5 hours from Albuquerque to Phoenix.
I gotta
Phoenix
ask. This is the
area.
only thing I know about Albuquerque. Did you stop and see the Walter White House?
No,
Damn,
because
missed
we got in at
opportunity.
like 8 p.m. and then we left the next day at like 6 a.m.
Was gonna ask if there was still a pizza on his roof. Shit.
Mm, I don't know.
Anyways, so I want to ask you this question. You don't know what I'm gonna ask you yet. You saw it like on the Trello loosely,
Mm-hmm.
but like everyone has their go-to like road trip snacks. Like I feel like anytime you're over like two,
Anything over
three,
like
four, like
sure
4 hours or
4
so. It's like
hours.
good like road trip time. I
I'd
think.
say so for us, I would say probably longer than that because
Yeah.
we could drive back and forth from Des Moines to Chicago without
Sh-
needing any special snacks.
Sure. Okay.
But if it's
Well,
going longer than that, for sure.
sure. Okay. But if you're so whatever time period that is, like when you're stopping at a convenience store and like you're like loading up and you're gonna be like, okay, this is what I'm getting. So I want to hear what your go-to drink is. Your go-to like whether it's like a chip or a pretzel or something. It could be whatever. Your go-to like chocolate candy, and then I don't think you're like a fruit candy guy, but like if you had like a fruit like candy as well, like so your drink, your chip, your chocolate, and your fruit candy, like what are those four things that you like? If you can pick them and that's all you're having, what's your go-to for those four? Maybe let's
Okay.
start with drink. What's your favorite drink?
Okay. If it's a 15-hour or like a 10 to 15-hour drive, I
Yep.
can only have one drink.
Let's
Probably
say
just
waters. You get water.
okay.
Waters
I
is
get
part of
water.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one's my drink is coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not a big like sugary drink person. I don't like, I don't drink Coke. I love Gatorade, but if I have too much Gatorade now,
Yeah.
doesn't sit well, and I don't want an upset stomach driving in the car. So I go coffee because in the morning I'm gonna want coffee, or if I have to drive like even if it's mid afternoon and I know I'm gonna be driving for longer, I'll I'll take coffee.
Yep, I think that's the right answer because especially I know with if it depends. I think with you and Hillary, I think you do most of the driving, so you got to make sure you're awake, you're
Mm-hmm.
attentive and stuff when you're driving. So I think that's probably that's the number one answer is like
Mm-hmm.
coffee. At least if you're a coffee drinker, I agree. I
If
think some like
okay, let's caveat this with I'm gonna add a 1B.
okay.
What would be your ideal drink if it didn't like or a drink that you would pick if it didn't like upset your stomach, it didn't
Mm,
sour your appetite or body,
um,
it's just like for taste because you
yeah,
think it's delicious.
good question. Um, I probably like like when you're like a kid and you go into like a white hen or a 7-Eleven, you go with
Good
like a
old white hen.
you go with like a buck seven, and you can get like a 99 cent like Arizona iced tea that's like 90 fucking ounces like the silos. I would probably get like a nice Arnold Palmer or something like that, or like a good old like Arizona iced tea.
That is a fantastic answer.
It's a great road
Fucking love
trip.
it.
You get great bang for your buck, especially if you're on a budget. You got a couple. You can
Mm-hmm.
find literally 6 quarters in your car. Get yourself an Arizona iced tea, no problem. Have a little change left over.
Yep, you
So
could even do it with 5 quarters.
yeah, I mean you can do it. Yeah, what's like a buck. I
Buck
guess 99
25.
cents
Yeah,
still. So yeah,
yeah.
a buck
Buck
10,
seven.
buck
Yeah.
seven. Yeah.
I
So
think a buck seven sounds right. With the 7% sales or
yeah,
food
it's like
and
a buck
sales
seven
tax or
growing up.
whatever. I have a quick story about that. So Arizona iced tea. When I was in college, I would drink it a lot because it was
So good.
delicious, especially the Arnold Palmers, and even sometimes the green teas.
Yep.
Long story short, end of freshman year, we have like flex dollars to use at like the
Ooh,
C
okay.
store,
Yes.
the convenience store, or whatever.
Yep.
And I've got like $80 left to go, and I've got like 3 days. So I go to the C store. I think my buddy Shiv, who I think has been on before, but Shiv was working at the C store, and he let me buy like 2 pallets basically
Hell yeah.
of that Arizona iced tea. And I don't think he was, not that he wasn't supposed to, but I was like, Shiv's working, let's go visit him.
Yeah.
I bought him, took him back to the room, and brought him home. It was I had
So
Arnold
good.
Palmer for 2 months.
Dude,
So good.
Arnold Palmer was so good. I used to like go to the dollar store too and get like the big jug of it and stuff. Oh, so good.
It was so good.
So that'd be my
Lemonade.
answer. How about you? So if you're not gonna do Arnold Palmer, do something. I mean, you can say Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
if you want to.
No, I'm
What
not gonna do that. That's
what
cheap.
would your like your 1B be? Because I think we're both say coffee.
My
but-
1B would be probably a blue Gatorade.
Man, Gatorade was
good old
I
fashioned
was
blue.
I was
Yeah.
teetering on Gatorade. So like
Yeah.
blue, like the
Cool
dark
Rush.
blue, or like the
I like the light blue.
the
I
light
like the
blue.
light blue.
Yeah.
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 That's
think
just
that's the
my
right call.
preference.
Like the Fierce Gatorade, or like the Riptide Rush. No, the Riptide Rush is purple. Like
cool-
what's that
Is it
one
like
called?
Cool
Blue. Cool Blue. No,
Is it just Cool Blue?
cool.
Fuck, I
Cool.
don't know. Blue Gatorade.
The light blue one though, like the one that looks like
Yeah.
Windex.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I want to
okay.
drink my Windex.
Yeah.
I'm
Gatorade was. So do you want like the what kind? Are we talking about like the 12 ouncer? Do you want like the The one
Oh,
that's
give me
larger, or do you want like the one that's like the sport one, with
the
like
cool one.
like
You mean
the
the
cool
best
grip?
bottle invented of all
Yeah,
time
yeah.
with the
Where you could like twist it with
oh
your teeth to open.
Glacier Freeze.
Glacier freeze. Okay.
That's the
But
one.
the kind where you can like twist with your teeth that you used to drink at like your basketball camps when you were 9.
That's the only thing I think of when I see those is Tim Peace's basketball camps, because you'd get them for
Yeah.
doing something good. I never got them,
Yeah.
but I would because I wasn't a good basketball player. I was a fat chubby kid. But you'd get them at the end of camps. Oh,
Yep.
and that bottle design is perfect. It's a
Oh.
no slip grip,
It's great.
and you just crank it, and you're
Yep.
so good. And then you can squeeze it too. You can put your mouth on it, or you can squeeze it into your mouth.
And something that's not talked about enough, especially for road trips. If you're driving, you got one hand at least on the steering wheel at all times. If you're thinking and you got, if you're opening up a Riptide Rush that's like a 12 ouncer, you got to probably take both of your hands off to open that bad boy up while you're driving.
Very unsafe.
You can simply, I guess Hillary could probably, undo the white little cap that's on the inside, but or you can use your teeth, and then you can open and close the capsule with just using your mouth. So that's a huge thing while you're driving, and you can be safe, keeping your wife safe on the road because of the awesome top that they got in those tall bottles with the cool handles.
Exactly. And you know what? No bugs are going to get in.
True.
If I had the big one, the big 32 ouncer or like the traditional 16 ouncer or whatever, and I wanted to be safe, I would drink a little bit, put it in the cup holder so that it's not going to spill, unless I get hit by another car.
Yep.
But what if a bug flew in? Because it's super sugary.
Exactly.
You never know.
Summertime, a bee could get in there. Exactly. Never know.
Yeah, you never know. And then I drink a bee. Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's not good. Nobody got time for that.
We're going down a bad path.
Okay, so I think Gatorade was my other answer I was thinking about. So I think that's good. Gatorade, Arnold Palmer, or Arizona iced tea. So let's go to like a salty thing. So
salty
I know.
Thing?
Yep. So
you go first this time.
So mine it's probably gonna be a boring answer, but it's my go-to. So I'm gonna stick with what I would like. I'm a straight like pretzel person. I love pretzels on a road trip.
You do love
pretzels.
pretzels.
I do. I was eating some today. They're just so fucking good. I would choose like just the standard like rolled gold like mini normal pretzel. But I need
the knot pretzels.
The what?
Like the knotted ones, like
the knotted one. Yes.
like the regular pretzel shape.
Regular pretzel. Yep. I love me some pretzels on a road trip. So like mindless eating, a little salty. I got the sweet with my drink right now. I'm in a happy place. So that's my answer. A boring pretzel, but that's my go-to. How about you?
Like it.
So I know.
I love.
Go ahead. I'm not gonna preface anything because I want to hear. It's a road trip. Remember, it's a road trip. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a road trip, and on a road trip, anything goes.
Oh, yep. True.
Not anything. Anything goes for food. It's like calories don't count on road trips, just like they don't count on vacation, right? I for a salty food, I love a good pretzel, and pretzels would be up there. I would pick Snyder's.
I'm smiling because I'm very interested because I know what your number one like salty snack food is. But when you're in a car, I don't know how viable.
Especially not if I'm driving.
Exactly. So that's why
I know what you're thinking
too.
So I'm gonna go with and it's tough. It's between two right now.
Okay.
Two different types of chips.
Oh, but chips. Okay.
Yes. So the two different types of chips. I'm not a huge chip person all the time. Like I don't really buy chips and just have them like at home. But if they're there, I will devour them. That's probably why.
Okay.
I'm between Jay's barbecue chips.
Ooh, Chicago staple.
They're delicious. Jay's, not Lay's. Jay's.
Yep.
And Miss Vicky's jalapenos.
Yeah, you love those.
Like the big one.
Yeah.
They're fucking fire. They're so good. And on our trip on the way back, I had both of them. I didn't have Jay's. They were a different brand barbecue. But they were delicious.
Do you think that like kettle chips, do they like tear up your mouth a little bit? Like I feel like sometimes if I eat a bunch of kettle chips, like I feel like I'm like my mouth like just went through like battle.
Yeah, but they're delicious. I don't care.
They are fucking delicious.
I like kettle cooked chips a lot more than just a regular baked chip or whatever.
So you gotta pick one.
Oh, fuck! I forgot about that. I would probably go. I'm gonna go with Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips because I won't eat them all at once, most likely.
Yeah, they're probably more readily available too.
Yeah,
like a convenience shop throughout like this throughout the country too.
Yeah,
I thought for sure.
I love the way that Jay's chips are coated. Like I don't know, they're so good.
Yeah, I haven't had a Jay's in a while, to be honest. They are delicious though. They're delicious.
Yeah. So did you think I was going to say Flamin' Hots?
100%. Yeah, and I'm like that's going to present some problems in terms of like cleanup when you're in the car, especially when you're driving. Then you're back to the one hand situation. Next thing you know, you got cheese crap all over the place. You know, you got some
Mm-hmm.
issues. And then Hillary's yelling at you, being like, Michael, you got, now we got to stop and get some Clorox wipes. She wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
actually say that, I know, but then you're probably
No.
like, oh shit, what do I do with my hands? And then
Yep.
you don't have like a bathroom nearby.
I know. So the solution is, even with like Miss Vicky's and stuff, I don't like to touch the steering wheel while I'm eating
Right.
them.
Right.
So I'll make sure that that we're just on the highway and that I don't have to exit and like navigate and
Right.
multitask and
Going
just get
straight.
my one hand out here, going straight, or barely banking either way. And then we keep napkins in our car, and then I'll oftentimes ask Hillary to like put a little bit of water on a napkin so I can
Yep.
kind of wash
Yep.
my hand off a little,
For sure.
dry it, and then I'll we also have been, especially since COVID started, had hand sanitizer. So that
Right.
doesn't clean it obviously, but it makes
Little
my
moisture.
hand feel a little bit cleaner
Yeah.
when I'm done dipping in.
Are you like a 3 finger or 2 finger like chip eater, or do you use like your all 5 fingers? So
I
if
don't
you
use
could
all
go,
5 fingers.
some people do. Some people do it. I recently learned that. So
Really?
if you're going in for like a bag of chips, are you like a three, like a thumb, like a pointer finger, and like
I'd go
a
I'd
middle
go
finger?
probably two to three.
Yeah, I'm in the
I'd probably go three if I'm
yeah
grabbing it, because the last thing you want to do is
little
grab for
tripod.
one. Yeah, a little tripod.
Yeah,
Because you can apply pressure from multiple angles. It gives you better security on the chip
better control the
or
chip for
on whatever
sure.
you're eating. I think for something like chips, if I'm just grabbing one, I'll just use 2 fingers.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you are using 2 fingers and grabbing in the bag, you could grab and drop it, which would be horrendous.
Yeah.
You
That
could
goes in the
also grab
crack.
and yeah, exactly.
Goes
You
no
could
man's land.
accidentally grab like 6 or 7 and then be like, oh shit. When I pull it out of the bag, they're gonna fall everywhere
And then in your lap,
because I
then
don't
you got
have
another
enough grip.
problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you got to do
So
laundry, and you're on a road trip. You get limited amount of supply of clothes.
I know.
Whole nother issue right there. Yeah.
So how did you learn that some people grab, like when they eat chips, they grab with their whole hand and then just like
Well, I feel like some people like who I don't know, like that they like they're getting like a thing of chips, like they'll just like get like a handful or something
mm,
versus like just going back into the bag. I don't know. Yeah,
mm,
I just I was talking to somebody the other day about like eating chips, and it was like, yeah, well, how many fingers do you use? And it was like, yeah, never even thought about that. But I'm definitely like a 3 finger person.
yeah. I would say if
So if I'm getting popcorn, I go like a handful sometimes.
yeah, sometimes I do that too. Or like
Yeah,
trail mix.
yeah,
Trail mix is a sneaky, it's not even sneaky good. It's just a good car snack
it's a
too.
great.
And I
It's
guess I would
resealable most of the time.
yep.
Yeah,
And it's like salty and sweet.
totally.
Um, sorry about that. But also with trail mix, it's easier because the pieces are a little bit smaller. So that would be easier for me to just put them all in one hand. Same
Right,
thing with like almonds or
right.
pecans or cashews or whatever. And then you can just kind of shake some of them to the top of your hand and throw them in your mouth.
Yeah, nuts are a good one too. Okay, so
Yep.
that's we both answered our salty.
Yep.
So what would be so we had candy? So like a chocolate candy and then like a fruity candy. Which one do you want to
Okay.
do next?
Let's do chocolate candy and I'll go first.
Okay,
And I'm gonna say peanut M&Ms.
that's the number one.
I
That's
think
my
it's just
number
the
one
right
too.
I think it's
Yeah,
just the right answer.
it's just yeah, correct.
We can probably just move on now. Okay,
No,
so
I'll answer something else. Go, you can
okay,
keep going. That's what I same with me. That's what I get when on a road trip for sure.
they're just so good.
So
Oh,
they're by far
and
the best M&M. Like then everything else is like way behind in my opinion.
absolutely, it's really not even close.
Yeah,
I did enjoy. I had like a coconut M&M, which
coconut.
I think
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think I enjoyed it because it was different.
Yeah, could you eat
Okay,
a whole bag though?
no,
Yeah.
but you can eat a whole bag of peanut
Oh,
M&Ms.
all
They're
day.
so
And
good.
it and like in the most welcoming peanut is the peanut M&M. Like in the commercials, he's always kind of
Absolutely,
legit happy
he's
go
so
lucky
aloof.
guy.
He's just so
He's in
nice.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's like the
He's not
goofy
trying to
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, not trying to outsmart anybody. He's not the mean red one. He's got like he's got a little guy problem
Just there for a good time.
complex.
Yeah. That's the kind of guy you want on a road trip with you, is a peanut M&M. So,
Absolutely.
yep, delicious. That's the number one. And it kind of goes and they fit in with like a good, trail mix too. If you want to like, consolidate, if you got a little trail mix going, you got a little couple peanuts
Oh
going
yeah.
in there, get a little handful of both of those, toss them in. It's delicious. I would say if I couldn't say that, I would go. I would go the resealable, like mini Reese's cups.
The little ones with
Yeah,
the chocolate and not the Reese's
don't have
pieces.
you don't have to like unwrap them because like
Oh yes.
that's the problem when you get the Reese's, like the mini ones, you got to unwrap them. So the resealable ones that are like the miniatures, where you can just pop them in, not have to worry about wrapping them. They're
So
delicious.
good. I honestly was gonna say Reese's. I not that
Yeah,
I didn't think about the small ones, but I was gonna say Reese's because sometimes it's
yeah.
nice to just
Oh,
get a
they're
big
so
big
fucking
chunk
good.
of chocolate and peanut butter.
But I like the resealable bag one with the miniatures because they already unwrapped. You can just pop them in. The price point's a little higher than I'd like to
Yep,
see, but they are delicious, and it's just the
they are
convenience factor
delicious.
being able to just guzzle those down. Although sometimes it is nice to have that little like check and
The
balance of
barrier.
having to unwrap them
Yeah.
because like okay, I've had enough. I don't need any more of this because I have to
And
unwrap them and I'm driving.
yep.
You just pop this the Ziploc open, and next thing you know, you're just they're gone, and you're like
Yep.
shit. That was 10 minutes, and I just ate 4,000 calories.
Yep. But I would say you feel less bad about it because you don't necessarily, it's not as easy to acknowledge how many you've had if you don't have to unwrap them.
True.
If you have to unwrap them and you have to look at the wrappers every
Yeah.
time on the seat next to you or on the dashboard or wherever, it's like, oh, I've already had 12 of these.
They
All right,
definitely
well, what's
shame
another
you.
12?
Yeah, the rappers definitely shame you from the grave. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
and there's like three pieces to each one because you got the wrapper, you got the
and
little piece of paper,
yep,
or the little white paper, and then also the the black piece of paper too. Depending
yeah,
on if you get like the 4-pack or if you get like the individual ones. I don't.
the mini
It's
ones.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep. And then I feel like the mini ones, like they always, so you can never get the perfect like if you're doing it like one handed while you're driving, you can never get like the perfect unopened, and then like the foil ends up ripping. Then you got pieces of foil all over the place. That
yep.
gets to be a
Or
mess. So
yep. Or heavens, no, you accidentally eat a piece of the tinfoil.
ugh,
Oh,
I
the
mean,
worst. You
yeah,
go. I mean, there's worse things, but
if
good
you're struggling with
example.
that, you shouldn't be driving if you're eating tinfoil. Clearly, you can't
Exactly.
multitask very well, so you should not be
Find a
operating a motor vehicle anyways.
th-
But
yes, that is the time where it is worth paying a premium for
yeah,
the already unwrapped,
exactly. And like we said, it's
Reese's.
like yeah, it's international waters when you're on a road trip. Calories don't count, so you might as well just go for the bag where you got extra calories working in there, and it's for safety too.
Exactly.
Purposes while you're driving.
100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 ton vehicle. So
Yeah.
okay, so there's our answer for chocolate. How about uh, fruity stuff? I know you're not a fruity
You,
guy.
yeah, it's
Remember,
okay.
like
You go first.
yeah. So my easy answer. This is the easiest one of the pick is Sour Patch Kids. I love Sour Patch
You
Kids.
love
I
Sour
have
Patch
them
Kids.
on a regular. Like if I'm driving when I was driving back from like Des Moines, Chicago, even like on a 4 hour trip, might as well stop over and get a bag of Sour Patch Kids. They're gone when I get home. My tongue is like torn up. It's like it's like that same like Captain Crunch like top of your mouth like your tongue's torn up like you just like went 12 rounds with Tyson. Um, in your mouth. So I would say that's my easy number one, but it's not without its faults because you definitely feel it the next day after you ate like an entire bag of Sour Patch Kids over the course of 4 hours.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, you kind of hit it on the head. I'm not a big fruity sweet guy. Oftentimes I would pass on. I might even pass on Sour Patch Kids rather than have them, even
Mm,
if I had no other option. That's just me. That's just a personal preference. It's a flaw. I recognize it. It's one of the least favorite things that about myself, or that I appreciate about myself. But I don't mind the watermelon gummies.
oh, yep.
Like those ones aren't. They're not quite as sour. They're
They're
more
not.
just you know flavor, I guess. So I would probably go the watermelon
They're
ones,
I mean they're
or
delicious.
even just a good gummy bear. You like a
Yeah.
good pack of what is it, Marbo with a
Haribo.
Harpo gummy bears.
Yeah.
I almost said Marlboro.
Yeah, that's a different kind of road trip snack.
Yeah,
Um,
I would. Sorry, go on. Anything else on
no, I
that?
was gonna say, do you think that like gummy bears like differentiate? Because like you're definitely paying a higher price point for like a Haribo gummy bear versus like a 7-Eleven gummy bear or like
Sure,
a whatever like convenience store gummy bear. Do you
sure.
think that like the if you're looking at a $1.99 pack of gummy bears versus like what do Haribos go for like maybe like
Maybe three
$4?
49, $4.
Yeah, so let's say 350, $4. Is it worth the the 100% increase in price for the quality control that you're getting? Do you think it's worth the investment?
I think it depends on the consumer. For people who really care, probably. For someone like me, I would probably take the cheaper ones
Yeah,
because it probably wouldn't make much of a difference to me. That said though, I also have my, picking M&Ms. Like I'm going to take M&Ms over
right.
nothing against Reese's Pieces, but M&Ms over Reese's
Oh,
Pieces.
no
They have
question.
a, they have a time and a place, but they're a lesser product, they're not as good.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know when. See, I don't know if they do have their time and place. This is probably gonna be a hot take. I don't
the
know
Reese's
if.
Pieces?
Yeah, I think that if you're in a convenience store, and again, feel free to come at me, anybody. But I feel like if you're gonna get a candy coated, chocolate, you're going
Mhm.
either peanut M and M's or even the peanut butter M and M's. I think you're probably comparing peanut butter M and M's to Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're in a Reese's mood, you just get actual Reese's. Like what's the
Yeah.
when do you go Reese's Pieces beside when you're watching ET? Because that's like what the candy he liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only time where if that's the comparison you're making,
Yeah.
if you want a candy like a hard candy, a hard shell small candy, it would have to be if you just didn't want the peanut butter like inside, and you just wanted that
Yeah.
peanut butter, because they have a peanut butter flavor, but I can't say that they have like a significant peanut butter inside. I'd say that those are
Okay.
most comparable just to traditional M&Ms, just in size, shape, and kind of
I'd say
feel,
size and
texture.
shape for sure.
Yeah, and even
Okay.
like I feel like the texture on the inside is similar enough, but I don't know.
Feel like on Reese's Pieces, it's a little creamier on the inside than a regular
Yeah,
M&M.
I would agree with
I
that.
think
M&Ms are pretty hard on the
the
inside.
flavor profile probably fits more of the peanut butter M&M. But who knows? I'm not a Reese's Pieces guy. I don't
Yeah,
dislike them. If somebody gave me a handful of Reese's Pieces, I'm going to eat them and be happy
you're
all
gonna
day
take them.
long.
Yep.
But
I think the last time I probably bought Reese's Pieces was for probably like at a movie, like in high school,
just craving
when I
some.
used to
Yeah.
buy, yeah, just craving some, and I used to like them a lot. Not more or less than M&Ms. I just used to sometimes pick them over others.
Yeah, I think that was probably before the old peanut butter M&Ms too, or in the ball game. So
Could have been,
that makes sense. That makes
could have
sense.
been.
Anyways, that
I do love a good peanut butter M&M too.
oh yeah, yeah, no, they're
Peanut
good.
M&Ms at the top. I think that's objectively that's the
Gold
right
medal.
answer. Gold
Yeah,
medal, not even close.
yeah,
I'd like to give an honorable mention,
you
road
can do
trip
that.
snack, to David's barbecue sunflower seeds.
I was curious if you were gonna make it, if you're gonna say
Yeah,
that, because I know you're a big road trip sunflower seed guy.
big sunflower seed guy. I used to get one of those big bags and eat the whole thing. Between Des Moines and Chicago, I think there might have been one time where I put down two of those big bags.
Holy shit!
It's bad. I'm pretty quick. I learned how to eat sunflower seeds growing up, and I'm pretty quick and pretty efficient with it. I even tried a few times putting a whole handful in my mouth. Obviously, you throw them in one cheek,
Yep,
and then I tried a few times cracking them, spitting out the shell, and moving the seed over, and just doing it like in batches, and then just eating a whole bunch of seeds at once.
yep.
Wouldn't recommend. You end up spitting out more seeds than you probably want to. But I learned that if I have a full bag of them, I'll eat a full bag of them. My cup gets full, so I need to get like a full 32-ounce thing from the gas station. And then my lips and my tongue are just destroyed for like 2 days.
Yep.
So
That's like the Sour Patch thing. It
yep,
just tears up your
it's
mouth.
it's so bad. So if I do get them, I have to either buy the big pack and portion it out so I don't eat the whole thing,
Right.
or just get a smaller pack. But yeah, David's barbecue are my
Barbecue's the
favorite.
go-to.
It's so good.
Yeah,
They're
barbecue's
so
great. Ranch is
flavorful.
great. Regular's
Yep.
great. Used to
Yep.
like the nacho cheese as a kid, like playing baseball. So many great
Oh,
ones.
interesting. I can't say
Yeah.
I've had the nacho cheese ones.
It's not as good as
Um,
barbecue or ranch, that's for sure.
yeah, I've had the jalapeno ranch before. They have a dill pickle one too. They've got lots of flavors.
Yeah,
It's fucking
yeah,
nuts.
all
Craig would
kinds of
love
them.
that.
But yeah, no,
Yeah, I
that was
know.
fun. They did something did it the very similar thing on a podcast I listened to recently. So I was like, Michael just got back from a road trip. We were talking about road trip things. I'm like, I feel like be curious to know what your answer would be for those. So that was good. That was good.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like that conversation.
Yeah.
If it involves food,
Yeah, I feel like that's something everyone can relate
fire.
to too. Is like, especially right now when you're not flying as much, you're road tripping to places. Everyone's got their go-to snacks, and I'm always interested to kind of see when we stop who brings what back into
Into
the
the
car,
car.
and who can get shit on for being like, oh, you stopped over and got like the black licorice. I mean, like, get this person out of the car. Let's leave him here before he does
Honestly,
something crazy. Like,
get rid of it.
cops get called.
It's like, oh look, there's something outside the car for you.
Yeah,
Go,
yeah.
go,
Oh,
go, go, go.
David's in the bathroom. Go, go, go. I got black licorice. We don't know him very well, apparently.
Yeah. I do love a good red kookaburra licorice. That's a
Okay.
good.
I
I'm
have no problem
thinking,
with licorice.
yeah, the only one that I've really enjoyed where I would go back and eat it. And you know what? I think I'm going to change my fruity answer to the red kookaburra licorice that they have, or that at least they had it for a while at Graham's. They came in like
I don't know what
2-inch little
kookaburra.
portions.
I
They
don't know
were
what that
pretty.
is.
It's just red licorice, but it tastes. It's very flavorful.
Okay.
Like it's not like a Twizzler taste. Like
Can you find
Twizzlers,
that
I
at
don't
like
think
a
taste like
regular
anything.
convenience store, like at a gas station?
I haven't found it.
Okay.
I haven't really sought it out, but I
Right.
know the kookaburra licorice that like Bob and Becky got from Graham's was like, I don't know. I don't remember what the name of the company was, but it was pricey. It was expensive, but it was so good.
Yeah.
And that's something that if I knew that it existed and I could go buy it, I mean, I could order it from Graham's.
Right.
Molly works
Right.
there.
Right. Right.
She could ship it to me. But like if it was down the street, I would go buy it
Yeah.
willingly. So I'm gonna change my watermelon answer to that red kookaburra
Okay.
licorice.
So that's something you have to plan ahead before you left the trip. Not something you can just pick up at a 7-Eleven. You're saying or something like
Exactly.
that. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
fair. That's fair.
Yep.
Cool.
So
Nice.
well,
That was a good tangent. That was kind of like an unexpected thing we kind of just threw in the last second to like, well, we need things to talk about this week.
Yep.
We just got back from a couple different trips. Let's talk about road trip snacks.
Yep.
But speaking of kind of being back in the snow, I know you were saying you were shoveling before we hopped in the pod, and we'll keep this relatively brief. I know we're already at kind of like 40 minutes, but what now that you're back, are you gonna be running in the snow? You got any runs coming up this week with any of the boys or anything, or gonna be locked in? How was the snow situation? Do you guys get pelted last night, or how was it
We
looking
got
out there?
destroyed.
Yeah.
So I did ours. I think at the deepest it was probably 12 to 18 inches,
Oh fuck.
including the drift. So we didn't
Okay.
get 18 inches of snowfall. Some was smaller, some was shorter, but shoveling didn't become easier because it still sucked. The
Right.
nice thing was it was pretty light and fluffy. It wasn't super dense or wet, so it was lighter to shovel.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, but yeah, as far as running in the snow, I need to. I haven't ran in like a week. Partially because we were on vacation and we were doing these hikes, so I felt like that was good exercise. And then we were driving back, and then I didn't yesterday because it was snowing all day. And now I'm to the point where it's like, now I'm out of my rhythm. I'm gonna have to
Right.
spend 2 or 3 weeks to get back to where I was, and it's just gonna suck. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I mean, sometimes it's fun to get run in the snow and whatnot, but yeah, like you said, once you're out of your rhythm, it is kind of a pain in the ass to get back into it. But I'm sure
Yeah,
you
it
will. I mean,
sucks.
you're back home. You got some consistency going on.
Yep.
Once the roads are cleared and the trails are cleared up, I'm sure you'll be out there running
Yep.
around, no problem.
Yep. What about you? Planning on running this week?
Yeah, I need to
Do they
kind of
keep the
similar.
606 plowed pretty well? Or like
Yeah, they do.
shoveled?
They bring cars up there and they plow and whatnot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been running out to the lake a little more.
Nice.
Not this past week, but yeah, it's been good. We got some snow the last. I mean, we got the same system you guys got, but it's not. We didn't get as much. Like it was a mix of rain and stuff too, so it's not terrible.
Mm,
But
okay.
yeah, I need to get out there tomorrow. Got new shoes. I'm not loving the Bondi sevens
Oh yeah.
versus
So
the
what was the issue
sixes.
that you had with them?
Like the back like heel is like stiffer,
Okay.
and then like the midsole is like different. It's like the rounded different, and I probably just gotta get them tightened right and like fit right. But I've like not like usually like when I had the Bondi sixes, there's kind of like a plug and play so to speak. Like you just put them on time and you're like out of the box, they're good to go. And I'm having a little more troubles with this one. So I had the Bondi
Interesting.
fives like for I had 5 or 6 of those models, and then I should have just got another pair, but they were like they only had like one color. It's like all black, and I'm like, meh, I don't really want to wear
Mm,
those
all black shoes.
that color. So I'm like, I'll give the sevens a try. And I'm not loving them so far. Hopefully they kind of wear in, and I like them more. And I can get the fit right and the laces and everything. But so far, definitely a Bondi six over a Bondi seven guy. But
Mm,
I still love my Hoka gang.
yeah. At least you know that though. At least you know
Yeah,
like the 6 is better than the 7. Like there's a noticeable difference,
yeah,
which isn't saying like that's not a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it would be nice if the 7s were good, but the way the 6s fit for you are better, so you know that.
yeah,
So you
exactly.
can target your next purchase towards the 6s if these 7s don't end up fitting well
Yeah, exactly. I
in the
mean,
long
I'm
run.
sure that obviously they're trying to make improvements to each model. I mean, it's just a personal thing that unfortunately for me, is like they're not fitting as well as the sixes, but hopefully I'm able to wear them. And like I said, and there's worse problems in the world. They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just really love the sixes. So
Yeah.
gotta get gotta battle through adversity, Michael. We'll make it through.
Yeah, 1 week at a time, one pair of shoes at a time.
Yeah, one run at a time. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's really it, man. I don't have anything else on the really the docket or anything. I just wanted to hear about the trip, hear about your runs, hear about
Yeah.
the Grand Canyon, and talk a little snacks.
Talk snacks. I could talk snacks all the
Dude,
time.
same.
I
Like
love snacks.
we should have a sub
Oh,
podcast just about snacks.
I would do it. Chiowa eats. Uber did
Yeah, yeah.
it.
We can just eat our way from we can just road trip back and forth from Chicago to Iowa, Chicago to Des
Honestly, that
Moines, just
sounds
eating
so
different
good.
snacks every time we drive.
The first place we stop, well, we'll have to stay overnight, but we'll be that the Psycho Silo Saloon.
Yeah,
It's like
there we
halfway
go.
between here that me and Nate went to when we volunteered at
Hennepin.
Hennepin.
Yeah,
That place is
yeah.
great.
So maybe some snack reviews coming from Shiva then.
Oh, wouldn't hate it. So, alrighty, dude. It was
Alrighty,
good
man.
catching up.
Yep. Good
All right,
times.
we'll talk to you
Thanks for
later.
listening, everyone. Adios.
Deuces. Nice. All done. 48 minutes. Perfect.
Yep. I saw. I was like, once we got to that snack thing, that was like 20 minutes. Like, that's perfect. Like 45
Yep.
minutes is like perfect.
Yep. It was fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and then I'm gonna pop off and go eat dinner.
Yep. I gotta make dinner now. Pumped about it.
What are you having?
I don't know yet. My parents for like Christmas, I got they made me a not made me, but they got me like a HelloFresh thing for like a month. So I've been trying that the
Oh,
last
nice.
couple of days.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, I cook for myself almost always, but it's something. It's kind of fun to like mix it up and just have different recipes like to make. Because something like I would never make like a chutney like pork chop, a chutney glazed pork chop, something like that. So it's just a little
Yeah.
like different recipes and stuff to kind of mix it up. And I figured it'd be a good time to use it during the winter when it's cold and I'm stuck inside and give you something to do at night. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Good deal.
So
I
I'm
like
going
it.
to do that as well, my friend.
Sweet deal. All right. Well, good talking to you. We'll plan.
Yep.
We'll plan for next week. Obviously, in the next couple days. Are